Anne Boleyn was the most notorious wife of King Henry VIII and the woman for whom the king broke from the Catholic Church. Her elegance, dark brown eyes, and her appearance, which was inspired by the French court, caught the attention of the king. Although she gained power and became queen, her downfall was well planned by people she would have least expected it from. Anne was the second daughter of Thomas Boleyn, 1st Earl of Wiltshire, and Elizabeth Boleyn, Countess of Wiltshire. She had one younger brother, George Boleyn, and an older sister, Mary Boleyn, who would later become one of King Henry VIII's mistresses. In the year 1513, Anne was sent to the Netherlands and later on to the French court by her father, where she received an outstanding education. However, in 1522, she returned to England and became a maid of honor to Catherine of Aragon, who was then married to King Henry VIII. It was during this time that Mary Boleyn, Anne's older sister, was already having relations as a mistress with the king. It was not until 1526 when Anne received the king's attention. He sincerely tried convincing her to become his maîtresse en titre, which basically meant that she would become the chief mistress of the king himself. However, Anne surely was not interested in just sharing the bed with the king. This may have been because she did not want to have the same fate as her older sister Mary, who was, by the way, already nicknamed as the Great Whore. Secondly, and probably most significantly, because she wanted to achieve more. She wanted to be queen and rule England alongside the king as his legal wife. Behind the back of the queen, Henry continued to flirt with his new interest, Anne. However, Catherine was already familiar with Henry's multiple affairs to his mistresses. Nevertheless, this time she did not know that this relationship was more than a simple affair. Because Anne was persistent and refused to share the bed with the king, Henry finally made her an unofficial proposal of marriage. Although it was easy for the king to ask for Anne's hand in private, it would become very challenging to crown Anne as the new queen officially, as Henry was already married to Catherine of Aragon. As a matter of fact, Catherine was actually 6 years older than the king himself, and more importantly, she was not actually meant to be Henry's wife. Before getting married to King Henry VIII, she was his older brother's wife, Arthur Tudor. However, as Arthur died very soon after their marriage, Henry took Catherine as his wife. Being in unconditional love with his queen, Henry VIII and Catherine's first few years in their married life were joyful and happy. However, after 2 stillborn children and 1 son who died within a couple of weeks after his birth, Catherine was only able to give Henry a female heir, Mary. Nevertheless, Henry VIII wanted to have a male heir, and since Catherine did not succeed in fulfilling her duties as a queen, the king slowly lost hope and distanced himself from her. Then it was Anne Boleyn who convinced him that she would be able to give him his son, for whom he waited for such a long time. However, just getting a divorce from Catherine was not possible, since her nephew Charles V was the Holy Roman Emperor and the King of Spain. Because of that, Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, the king's Lord Chancellor, asserted that an annulment of Henry's marriage to Catherine could spark a war between England and Spain. However, still determined to marry Anne, the king did not believe in such speculations. Therefore, Henry gave the responsibility to Cardinal Thomas Wolsey to convince Pope Clement VII to grant Henry the permission for his divorce. Cardinal Thomas Wolsey failed to do so. As a result, the cardinal lost his position in 1529 and was meant to be executed. However, due to his sudden death, caused by a serious illness, he would not lose his head at the Tower. After the failure of Thomas Wolsey, it was Cardinal Thomas Cromwell who was now responsible for the annulment of Henry's marriage. After Cromwell pointed out that it would be still a daunting process to fulfill the king's wishes, Henry VIII decided to take the matter in his own hands. The king broke free of the Catholic Church and would become the supreme head of the Church of England. He divorced Catherine of Aragon, and in 1533, after years of waiting, the pregnant Anne Boleyn was finally crowned as the new Queen of England. Queen Anne was surely not accepted as the true Queen of England, although King Henry VIII crowned her as the new Queen. The nation mourned for the loss of their beloved Queen Catherine and accused Anne of witchcraft.